You sit on the edge of a narrow bed, while rainwater ticks against the window. An overdue rent notice glows on your phone. Pay within 2 days or leave. Your wallet holds a few coins. The refrigerator is empty, and another rejected job application arrives before midnight. The next afternoon, you meet Mark at a quiet street corner cafe. His rust-red jacket is spotless. His watch looks expensive, and he already knows about your warehouse experience. He slides over photographs of a clean office and promises paid flights, accommodation, meals, and temporary overseas work. You ask why the offer has no interview. Mark laughs and says the company needs workers immediately. The salary printed on the page could clear your rent and debts within months. When your landlord calls again, you silence the phone, read the contract once more, and sign. Mark gives you an envelope containing a ticket, an address, and instructions to travel light. Back in your room, you pack one change of clothes, toiletries, a charger, and your worn passport. You'll leave most of your belongings behind, because Mark says the company will provide everything. Before sunrise, Mark meets you beneath the airport departure board. He completes part of the check-in for you and keeps the return date section vague. When you question it, he says the office abroad will arrange the return flight. He waves until security separates you, then disappears. Hours later, you land in a country you have never visited. Heavy rain blurs the terminal windows. A stalky man in a brown jacket holds a card with your name, but offers no company identification. He takes your suitcase handle without asking and leads you toward a dark sedan. The sedan leaves the main highway and climbs into wet mountains. You ask Jan how far the hotel is, but he answers with a grunt and locks the doors when traffic disappears. Your phone loses signal. Road signs become scarce. Houses vanish, and dense forest closes around the car. Near dawn, headlights reveal a tall metal gate topped with wire. A guard carrying a rifle approaches the passenger window, while another checks the trunk. John speaks to them in a language you cannot follow. The gate opens inward, and the sedan enters before it closes behind you. John leads you into a bare office, where Chen waits behind a steel desk. Chen asks for your passport and phone for registration. When you resist, the armed guard steps closer. Chen locks both items in the drawer, opens a ledger, and says your travel debt must be repaid first. You are taken through a fenced courtyard to a crowded dormitory. Metal bunks fill the room, and damp clothes hang from exposed pipes. A thin worker with purple bruises on his forearm starts to speak, then notices the guard and lowers his eyes. Your assigned locker has no key. That night, Chen brings you to a fluorescent work hall. Workers sit shoulder to shoulder at computers, while guards patrol behind them. You are ordered to follow scripts, open accounts, and keep strangers talking. Every screen is monitored. A missed target earns a red mark beside your name. The following morning, Chen displays an itemized debt, airfare, transport, bed, meals, training, and a fee for the job itself. The total is many times the amount Mark promised. You point to the signed contract, but Chen tears off the company page and drops it into a bin. At dinner, you quietly ask an older worker where the road outside the rear fence leads. Before he answers, Guard 2 grabs your collar and drives you against the wall. Your tray hits the floor. The guard holds his baton beneath your chin and orders everyone to keep eating. You are dragged into a floodlit yard, where the workers are forced into a line. A young man with a swollen cheek kneels beside a broken chair. Guard 2 smashes the baton across the chair back, then points at the kneeling man. The warning is clear, without further violence. Back in the dormitory, your shoulder throbs and sleep will not come. Through a cracked window, you study the patrols. One armed guard crosses the rear fence every 20 minutes. During shift change, the service corridor beside the generator room remains unwatched for almost 2 minutes. During the next work break, you pretend to carry an empty water container and slip into the generator room. Machinery hides your footsteps. Behind oil drums, you find an unlocked storage door, a delivery van, and a drainage gap beneath the rear fence wide enough to crawl through. You spend the day memorizing turns between the dormitory and the generator room. That night, a storm cuts power for several seconds. Emergency lights flicker on. Guards shout across the yard, and rain drowns smaller sounds. You wait until the next shift change. Then, leave your bunk. You move through the service corridor and freeze as a flashlight sweeps across the wall. When it passes, you reach the storage door, crawl behind the delivery van, and squeeze beneath the fence. Wire tears your sleeve and cuts your palm, but you pull free and run downhill. Mud drags at your shoes as you stumble through the forest. A vehicle searches the road above, its headlights moving between the trees. You slide down a bank, hide beneath wet branches, and wait until the engine fades. At sunrise, a warm porch light appears beyond an empty field. You knock until a man in a blue shirt opens the farmhouse door. A woman in a floral dress brings a towel and water while you describe the compound. They sound shocked and promise to take you to the police. The man quietly turns his phone face down on the table. You drink too quickly and struggle to stay awake. The couple says the nearest police station is an hour away and guides you into their car. The woman sits beside you in the back, speaking gently while the man drives. For the first time all night, you believe you are safe. 10 minutes later, the paved road ends. The driver turns onto a muddy track and answers a brief call through the car speakers. You hear Chen's voice before the volume drops. The woman stops smiling and locks the rear door. Familiar wire fencing appears through the windshield. The compound gate opens before the car even stops. Guard 1 and Guard 2 are already waiting, proving the couple called ahead. They pull you onto the wet ground, search your pockets, and drag you across the yard. Workers watch for a moment, then lower their heads as ordered. Chen returns your torn contract page, only long enough for you to recognize it, then burns it in a metal tray. Your wet clothes, muddy shoes, cut hand, and bruised shoulder remain as proof of the escape. The gate closes again, and the guards lead you back toward the work hall.